This week, Guardian announced a lot of new things, including things I didn't cover in my shorts. Starting off with the discounts and redeemables, you can redeem the speed limit decal until the 1st of September. You can do this by going to this link here and typing in speed limit in the box. The Hungarian Panzer 2000 is discounted by 30% down to 4,614 Golden Eagles from 8,020 Golden Eagles. This is until the 24th of August this Monday. It's honestly not a bad deal for Italy, as the Panzer 2000 is a great tank destroyer even without being a premium. And as a premium you will get nearly double the research compared to the normal Panzer 2000. Not to mention Italy doesn't get one in the tech tree. The Hawk 209 has returned for the Japanese tech tree and at a discounted price. The price being 6,734 Golden Eagles from 9,260 Golden Eagles. This is also a 30% discount like the Hungarian Panzer 2000. It's not super special, but it does get access to Sea Eagles and some funny IR ATGMs. But they're not great either. Get it if you want, but you won't really be missing out. Now to go over the things I didn't go over before. On Friday morning, August 21st, Guardian announced new MFDs and HMDs for certain planes. They singled out the KA-52, saying they will get several new MFD screens, including a compass page, a flight instruments page, a weapon screen, and a radar page. They also mentioned that the following planes will get a radar page: the MiG-21s, the F-104s, the Mirages, as well as the T-2 and F-1. They did say other planes will get them as well, but those are the confirmed ones. But multiple helicopters and planes will be getting an updated HMD as well. They did also mention some. The RAH-226 will get its own Kaiser HMD, the J-87 and J-11 will also get HMDs, and American planes will get an upgraded VTAS, which will feature lock and radar warnings around the reticle. They did also go over this briefly in the community updates, which I didn't go over in the short. Speaking of the community update, there's still one other thing I didn't go over in my initial video, so I'll go over it now. In the community update, they announced a top-down option with the sensor view. However, it's more like a 3D rendered sensor view map. There really isn't much else to be said about that. This is why I didn't include it in the initial video, but I thought I'd go over it here. That's everything I didn't go over in my shorts, so let's go over the stuff I did go over for those of you who didn't watch my shorts. At the beginning of the week, we got a sneak peek for the Wildcat. According to Guardian, the Wildcat is going to be a strong alternative to the Lynx and Apache helicopters currently in the British tech tree. However, they currently don't know what battle rating is going to be. But I do hope that the Wildcat is better than the Lynx, as it's essentially an evolved version of it and was built directly from the platform in collaboration with Italy via the Gustav Westland company. The Wildcat is going to feature advanced avionics, modern guided weaponry, modern radar, as well as an RWR and countermeasures. However, that is all quite vague, but it does go into more detail with the guided weaponry. The Wildcat is actually going to feature a brand new missile, which is going to be the Martlet. Better yet, it's going to be able to carry up to 20 of them at once. There is a catch though. They are very small missiles which can even fit on a drone, which means you're going to struggle to kill MBTs unless you aim them for the roof as their laser beam ride. They are also looking at a variant that can carry spike missiles, but from my own research, it seems only Korea has plans to do that. Potentially a hint towards the Korean tech tree being introduced, as they announced plans of doing so in October last year. The Wildcat does feature other armament though, that being the Sea Venom and the Stingray. The Sea Venom is a replacement for the Sea Skill and is essentially a smaller version of the Sea Eagle, shorter range and slower but potentially more accurate. There is also the Stingray, which is a torpedo that features 67.5 kilograms of TNT equivalent. Both are supposed to be fired at boats, but if the Sea Venom was added, it could potentially be fired at ground targets like the Sea Eagle, potentially with greater effect as Sea Venoms are infrared tracking with the option of man the loop instead of radar like the Sea Eagle. But I think it's unlikely to be added to warthunder, as put into service October last year. On Tuesday, we were informed of the Israeli tech tree reshuffle. Good news is that it's only 30mm Bushmaster vehicles, so you won't be missing out too much. But for those who want to know, the ITAN is one place with the name of 30, and the name of Recon is going down to rank 7 and being folded with the name of 30. The same day, we also got the community update. We got an announcement on when the next SL crates are, and they are arriving the last full week of August, which at the time of recording is next week Monday, August 24th. We also got news on the next two events, not a lot, but at least we know that the next event after the SL crates is going to be a plane, and the event after that is going to be a tank. They also announced that they are working on increasing bomber survivability. They said it's a lengthy process and that they're using documents from actual attacks on bombers from various parts of them. Apparently that data will improve their survivability. They also expect that bombers will no longer lose their wings and control surfaces from 50 cals and other low caliber rounds. They went over the nuclear escalation game mode as well, where they announced a new variant for us to try. The main difference of that is going to be in the 70s/Vietnam era, where the battle rating is going to be 8.7 to 11.0. The air defense is going to rely on the S-75 and Hawk SAM system, but the air defense for battlefields is going to be guns only. They're also adding multiple early anti-radiation missiles such as the AGM-45, AS-37 and KH-27, but only for aircraft within a certain battle range. All of the models for vehicles and air defense are also being updated. They also announced plans for the next major update. They seem to have liked the feature where you get credit for kill when a plane G's up near you, so much so that they've actually implemented the ground and naval battles for tanks and boats. They are also improving UI by adding submost and a mode selector under the start battle button, as well as improving preset UI for those who use it. The biggest improvement I think are the improvements to the map. So whenever you hover over a vehicle on the map, you can see what vehicle it is. This will be very useful for when an enemy is in spawn, so you can see exactly what tank it is. They went over some of the already announced vehicles like the Wildcat, but also hinted towards new vehicles being added to the Israeli air tech tree, including their first rank line jet. They announced that they're going to add a researchable variant of the F-14D to the US tech tree. They also said that there will be some more exciting ground vehicles and will be announced later on, but they did announce that the M103 series will receive a detailed model update to fix some of its inaccuracies as well as improve its quality. This will also improve the T-58 as well. They are going to be introducing Indonesian ground vehicles and the first Greek ground vehicle to War Thunder 2. And finally, they announced a new ground map for War Thunder, this being the Falklands ground map called Darwin Hill, and it looks extremely good. On Wednesday, Nuclear Escalation came back and we were informed of the improvements and changes they made. This time, Nuclear Escalation is not using modern fighters, but instead using Vietnam era vehicles. This of course means that the battle ratings are now different. For this Vietnam era, the first BR range is 8.7 to 9.7 and the second BR range is 10.0 to 11.0. However, there are more differences than just the map and battle ratings. They have also made it so destroyed factories and warehouses now take 15 minutes to restore rather than the 10 minutes it took before. Not only that, but the anti-aircraft guns surrounding these buildings also don't respawn automatically and now require the building to be restored. Also, when your team captures a building, the AA automatically get repaired and become fully operational for your team. They've also changed how armoured vehicle depots work. Instead of attempting to make vehicles beyond their limits, they now stop making vehicles if there aren't enough resources to fully make one. Convoy AI has also been changed to make them more smart, so if a target is destroyed, captured or already full, the supply convoy immediately redirects to the next objective. Cargo also no longer funnels into ruins. They also now travel to the least full of the 3 closest depots instead of targeting one across the map. Tank convoys now no longer slow down when they detect a nearby enemy. Before, this behaviour sometimes prevented them from capturing buildings before opposing forces arrived or a new convoy despawned. They also fixed them disappearing into buildings. Tanks in these convoys are now only used to replenish garrisons at strong points. SPG convoys had their own unique improvement as well. They now select a random nearby building and fire at a target from a position within the firing range. Nuclear Escalation will begin on the 19th of August 1 PM GMT and will end on the 24th of August at the same time. On Thursday we got the dev log on the M7 medium tank as well as the Hungarian Panzer 2000 discount. The M7 medium tank is going to be a rank 2 medium tank in the heavy tank line. In one way this doesn't make any sense, but in another it does, as while it isn't a heavy tank it looks very reminiscent of the M22, just bigger and better armoured. In real life it was a stepping stone between the Stuart and the Sherman, but in terms of looks it's more like a mix between the M22 and the M4A1 Sherman. Now let's go over performance. For its main armament it has the same 75mm as the Sherman, which includes the vertical stabilizer. It also features better mobility in both top speed and power to weight, but where it's faster it's also less armoured. In terms of hull armour, the M7 is about 30mm thick at 50 degrees on the upper front and at 0 degrees on the lower front. The upper sides are around 32mm thick from 0 degrees to 50 degrees and the lower sides are around 32mm at 0 degrees. The turret armour is also pretty good, with the mantlet being 64mm thick at 0 degrees. The turret face is similarly armoured at 51mm thick at 23 degrees. The left side of the turret is 38mm at 21 degrees, whereas the right side is 38mm at 24 degrees. The rear of the turret is also 38mm but at 11 degrees. In terms of BR placement, I expect this to be placed around 3.0 to 3.3, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Gaijin puts this at 3.7, because I think it will perform fine at that BR as well. Mainly because I think it's going to be very volumetric despite its thin armour, not to mention its improved mobility of the Sherman. And on Friday we got the dev log for the Ki-93, as well as the Hawk 219 discount and MFD HMD dev log, which I already went over. The Ki-93 is a World War II cast name for Japan and resembles a 57mm Mosquito quite a lot. However, it packs a much bigger punch, and that's because it gets APHE, not to mention the higher fire rate. This should allow you to shoot straight through the top of most tanks and take care of any bombers in the sky. However, I think that's where this plane can get some scrutiny, because while the gun was intended for the Ki-93, there's no actual evidence that was fitted. There is however evidence that the 401 was fitted, as we have photo evidence of the plane equipped with it. But besides that, the plane was also equipped with two 300 RPM 20mm at the base of its wings and a 900 RPM 50 cal for the rear cockpit. It also features two engines producing up to 2400 horsepower with 6-blade props, which allows you to reach a top speed of 624 km an hour at 8300 meters. But you won't be able to turn well as it's heavily armoured, but it will allow you to take a few shots. at least according to Gaijin. In terms of tech tree placement, it's going to be placed south of the B7A2 in rank 3. It's also apparently going to be a big improvement over the Kai 102. I think it's a bit weird going into a naval aircraft line that was designed as an interceptor, but in terms of BR placement I think it's going to be 4.3. No higher just because it's going to struggle to turn due to its weight. That's everything covered for this week, so I hope you all have a wonderful day and I will see you around.